A CSU East Bay alumna has been appointed to a prison position by Governor Jerry Brown. Find out who, coming up.
A performance that captivates audiences facing death and experiencing birth is coming to CSU East Bay's campus. Find out more next. Pioneer Web TV is starting now.
Hello CSU East Bay, I'm Thomas Shelstray.
And I'm Bernally James. Welcome to Pioneer Web TV. You are now tuning into the best online spot to get information about CSU East Bay campus events and highlights.
We'll be starting off today's show with an online program for women's studies degrees, then wrapping it up with the impact of implicit bias. CSU East Bay alumna Shannon Swain has been appointed Deputy Superintendent of Correctional Education at California's Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation by Governor Jerry Brown. Swain has worked at the Contra Costa County Office of Education from 1989 to 2012. Swain moved on to work as a subject matter expert for correctional education at Synergy Technology and Correction Services from 2012 en route to getting her current position. Educating inmates is a crucial strategy for dealing with inmate population sizes. The goal of correctional education is to inform and educate the prison population when they get out of prison so that they can be reformed rather than going back into the system. Swain's hiring comes at a time when California's prison population has become so overcrowded that a judge ordered it be reduced by 40,000 by February 28, 2016.
Tongues Gathered is the newest performance with original and adapted dance and musical forms that take audiences through the experience of facing death and the exploration of birth. There will be performances from special guest artists like Melanie Demore and Trina Nam Mijo, who are among 6 other professional dancers from the Dandelion Dance Theater in San Francisco. Director Eric Coopers has created the second part of the performance called Gather, which specifically explores the nature of birth. According to the Dandelion Dance Theater, it will be a piece completely reliant on the body itself, using no props, instruments, or set pieces. Kroopers has created many experimental and critically acclaimed performances. The performance Spinal Fluid in 2008 was an experimental dance piece with the purpose to find methods of dance that could survive multiple cast replacements over a long-term period and remain accessible to performers of all body abilities, disabilities, size, and shape. Tongues Gathered will be presented this weekend in the University Theater, Friday and Saturday at 8 p.m. and Sunday for matinee at 2 p.m.
In between classes, need a snack? We got you. Get a coupon and try a small bag for free at the bookstore. Curtis Jammin' Kettle Corn. One taste and you know you're hooked.
A conference on restorative justice in the East Bay is being held here on campus today in the new University Union's multi-purpose room from 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Restorative justice is the philosophy on crime that seeks to bring the offender, the victim, and the community together through the justice system. The goal of the program is to bring a sense of community to both those who were affected by the crimes and those who committed the crimes. Restorative justice programs are made up of 4 key steps according to restorativejustice.org. The steps include bringing the victims and offenders together, making amends to repair the damage caused, reintegration, and inclusion. Restorative justice professionals such as Mark Umbritt, Director for the Center of Restorative Justice and Peacemaking at the University of Minnesota's School of Social Work, will be speaking at the event. All forms of restorative justice have been discussed at the event, including juvenile restorative justice.
Vice President of the Federal Commissions Committee, Ann Ravel, and Executive Director of the California Fair Political Practices Commission, Aaron Peth, will be on campus Monday, May 12th in the multipurpose room. In a forum hosted by the League of Women Voters from the Eden area and ASI government, these renowned women will discuss dark money in politics. Dark money is defined as the funds that are used to pay for an election campaign that are not disclosed to voters prior to voting. Funds can be spent on the behalf of the candidate running in an election or to influence the voting on the ballot question. This event is a chance to allow students and the community to ask politicians direct questions about how money is being spent in the government. This event specifically gives East Bay students a chance to exchange dialogue about issues in politics directly with members of the government. ASI encourages students that are frustrated with the role of big money in politics to come out and share their views this Monday at 6 p.m. in the multipurpose room.
Looking for a place to eat breakfast and lunch, or maybe just a cup of coffee? Look no further. Einstein's Brothers Bagels is here for you. Located between the CSUEB Administration Building and the North Science Building, Einstein's Brothers Bagels has everything you need. Here, you can find salads, sandwiches, specialty coffee, and of course, bagels. In addition to this variety of food, a very friendly staff is there to tend to your every need. Einstein's Brothers Bagels, a rare find on the CSUEB campus.
There's now a way to earn a degree online for women's studies majors. CSU East Bay is now offering a BA WST online. The program is 18 months long and looks to develop skills employers are looking for along the way. Our own Beatrice got the scoop on all the women's studies news.
California State University East Bay will launch a new Bachelor of Arts Women's Studies online degree completion program this fall. Women's Study is an interdisciplinary area of research. The program will include studies in gender, sexuality, class, and also research methods. The program will also include perspectives through different theories, including feminist theory. The office of Dr. Lynn Comerford, the director of the program, is located in room 3055 on the third floor of the Meiklejohn building. We sat down recently to discuss the program's features and also learning outcomes for students interested in becoming women's studies majors. What do you want students to know in concerns to women's studies having an important role in academia and future careers?
I think it's very important that students become sensitized to others in terms of being able to place oneself in other perspectives. So being able to imagine oneself in terms of gender, race, class, ethnicity, nationality, ability, sexuality. It's very important to be able to step inside the shoes of other people, because when we're able to increase our empathy for others, it will hopefully make one more sensitive and kinder, more compassionate person, which is very important in terms of the way we think about why we get a higher education. That this is a very important part of education.
For more information about the Bachelor of Arts Women's Studies online degree completion program, please visit www.ce.csu.east.bay.edu/degree/women's_studies. This is Beatrice Moreno signing off for Pioneer Web TV News.
Thanks, Beatrice. It's great to see fully online programs being integrated so effectively. We look forward to seeing how online programs like this play out going forward. Stick around, CSU East Bay. After this break, we'll have more Pioneer Web TV for you.
Welcome back to Pioneer Web TV News.
There's a lot going on in sports, and our sports correspondent, Pioneer Pete, is here with the latest. Louder, please.
Sorry, man. I don't think this is going to work out. I'm sorry.
Thank you for tuning in to Pioneer Web TV. I'm Verna Lee James.
And I'm Thomas Shellstraight, and we're bringing you the latest in campus news.
Implicit bias, according to Stanford University School of Medicine, means a positive or negative mental attitude toward a person, thing, or group that a person holds at an unconscious level. Alex Madava, a postdoctoral fellow of UC Berkeley, came to CSU-EB to discuss the implications of this concept in depth.
Alex Madava, Mellon postdoctoral fellow at UC Berkeley, came to speak to students earlier this week about understanding and overcoming implicit bias in higher education. In his talk, he discussed some of the implicit biases that are most problematic for students and faculty in higher education. Questions like, where do these implicit biases come from? How do they influence us? What can we as individuals and members of larger institutions do to combat them? Were all answered at this gathering.
He did a really good job of summing up what he wanted to talk about implicit bias, and not just, he didn't stick with just that topic, but he brought in the statistics and almost like related concepts that would imply, some of the issues that he was concerned that he addressed.
The U.S. as a country has a lot to work on implicit bias, and it kind of confirmed some things that I thought that was going on, and it felt actually good to hear someone else confirm it on stage with a microphone.
The professor who I'm taking mentioned that we should come, and he's a PhD student. And so I was just curious of what his work has to tell us.
Didn't know that stuff like this happened here on campus, and I didn't know where to look for the info.
This has been Raven Davis with Pioneer Web TV News. Back to you in the studio.
Psychologists believe that the content of our implicit biases are learned from the society in which we live. It is great to have Alex Madava come to our campus to speak about this topic. Keeping our campus community educated on concepts like these continue to keep CSU East Bay moving in a positive direction. Stay tuned, Pioneers. Pioneer Web TV will be right back after this short message.
When you don't read the Pioneer, you don't stay up to date on current issues. When you don't stay up to date on current issues, you have nothing to talk about with your friends. When you have nothing to talk about with your friends stop being your friends. When your friends stop being your friends, you get lonely. And when you get lonely, you create imaginary friends. Don't create imaginary friends. Read The Pioneer. A new issue comes out on every Thursday.
Well, that's it for today, CSU East Bay. We hope you enjoyed our show.
It has been our pleasure, East Bay. Be sure to tune in next week on Pioneer Web TV, the one show where you find out all the latest campus news, events, and more.